Here is what nobody tells you about arguments. When two people remember the same evening differently, at least one of them, honestly, is not lying. They are both reporting honestly from two different recordings. 6 tools tonight, all of them boring, all of them mechanical. None of them will win you the argument. All of them will end it earlier. Right, store is open. You came in for ammunition and I am not issuing any, because the thing you want to win is not a fact fight. What you get instead is hardware, 6 pieces, each aimed at a specific place where two honest people stop being able to hear each other. Requisition is at the end. Tool 1. Tuesday, a shared kitchen and 2 people are describing the same 10 seconds. He says she raised her voice. She says she asked a question. Nobody is inventing anything. They are reading out 2 different files, and each file was written by a different pair of eyes standing in a different part of the room. Here is the mechanism, and it is physical, not moral. Your attention is a narrow beam, not a floodlight, and it can only be pointed at one thing at a time. While he was tracking her volume, she was tracking his face. Both of them recorded faithfully, as far as either could tell. Neither of them recorded the same event, because there was no single event to record. Your move. Ask what they saw, not what they think. 2 different questions entirely. What did she do with her hands gets you a recording. Was she being rude? Gets you a conclusion, and conclusions are where the fight lives. Ask for the footage before you argue about the edit. Tool 2. A Thursday meeting, 11 people, and afterwards, 2 of them cannot agree on whether the boss approved the budget. One heard approval, one heard a maybe. And here is the uncomfortable part. Neither of them can tell you what the person beside them was wearing. Mechanism. Attention has a budget, and it is smaller than anyone believes. Nobody misses the shirt through carelessness. You missed it because the beam was pointed at the words, and the shirt was never written to disk at all, which means the honest sentence is not, "I remember." It is, "I recorded this much." The move? Say out loud what you were watching. I was watching his face, so I have nothing on the numbers. It sounds like weakness, I know, and works like a lever, because the other person immediately does the same, and now you are comparing 2 partial recordings instead of defending 2 whole truths. Name your blind side first. Tool 3, and this one costs you something. You are 3 sentences into being right. The other person has gone quiet, and every additional fact you produce makes them less able to hear you. That quiet is not agreement. It is a door closing. Mechanism. When a memory is challenged head-on, the brain defends the source before it examines the content, because being unreliable is a bigger threat than being mistaken. So every extra piece of evidence lands as an attack on their competence. You are not adding facts. You are raising the cost of agreeing with you. Here's the move. Swap "you're wrong" for "what did I miss?" 4 words, and they do something specific. They hand the other person the job of describing rather than defending. Ask it and then stop talking. 9 times out of 10, what comes back is a detail you genuinely did not have. Tool 4. Something happened on Saturday that mattered. By Wednesday, you have told 3 people about it, and each telling was slightly cleaner than the last. The pause is gone, the motive obvious, your own part a little more reasonable. You are not lying to them. You are lying to the file. Mechanism. A memory is not read like a photograph. It is rebuilt each time you recall it, and it gets saved again afterwards with whatever you added during the telling. That is why the version you argue about in March is a story that has been through 20 edits, and the edits all went the same direction. Your move. Write it down within a day. Badly. Not a diary, not feelings. 6 lines. What was said, in the order it was said, and what you were looking at. Ugly notes beat clean memories every time. Write the first version before it becomes the good version. The returns counter then. There is a complaint that follows these tools around, and it is a fair one. Somebody brings tool 3 back to the counter and says, "I asked what I missed, and he used it to rewrite the whole evening in his favor. He wasn't misremembering, he was working me." The complaint checks out, and yes, it is the one I get most, and here is the honest limit. None of the 6 work on somebody with a reason to lie. Every tool here assumes 2 people who both want the recording. Against incentive, they are worse than useless because they hand over ground for free. Read the person before you reach for the box. Tool 5. The 2 of you have been going for 40 minutes and something has changed. You are no longer describing the evening. You are describing each other. Nobody has mentioned a new fact since minute 9, and still neither of you can stop because stopping feels like conceding. Mechanism. A disagreement about fact runs out of material in a few minutes because there are only so many details. A disagreement about meaning has no floor and never runs out, since meaning is made of everything either of you has ever felt. When the new facts stop arriving, the subject has quietly changed. Move then. Set a 10-minute timer on the fact part out loud at the start. When it goes, ask one question. Are we still arguing about what happened or about what it meant? Say the sentence even if it is your turn to speak. The timer is the only referee that does not take sides. Tool 6, and it is the one that decides whether the other 5 matter. Some evenings have no shared version and never will. 2 honest recordings. No master tape, no third camera in the corner. Hold that, or spend a decade trying to make one file out of 2. Mechanism. The thing you actually need from the argument is almost never the shared version. It is the confirmation that the other person is not treating you as a liar. That can be handed over in one sentence without anybody rewriting a single detail, which is why it is available on evenings when agreement is not. The move? Say the sentence that costs nothing and settles most of it. I believe you remember it that way. Not you're right. Not I was wrong. Neither. It concedes no fact and returns the thing that was actually missing. Then let the gap stay open, because a gap you can name stops being a wound. Right, 6 pieces on the counter, and one of them is not like the others. 5 change how you handle the recording. The 6th changes what you are asking the recording for, and that is the one people come back for. Stamp on the lid of that box. Works on the honest, useless on the paid. Where does a store like this come from? Somebody long before us noticed that we do not react to events. We react to the account of events we are carrying, and that the account is ours to inspect. He wrote it to himself, in the dark, before the day started, because the argument he expected was mostly with his own file. So here is the thesis, and it is smaller than you wanted. Nobody remembers the evening. What comes back is the last time you told it. 2 people arguing about a Tuesday are usually comparing 2 edits made by 2 people who were both looking at something else, honestly, at the same time. Requisition then. 1 tool, not 6. The one that made you uncomfortable while I was describing it, because that is the one pointed at a fight you are actually in. 24 hours, then come back and tell me in the comments which one you took and whether the other person got quieter or louder. Store shutting.